industry colleagues, and welcome to another new episode of the Quest for Excellence series brought to you by Intellectus Consulting. By now, I'm sure all of you would be aware that the Quest for Excellence series is an endeavor by our organization to promote and enhance the standards of marketing excellence in our industry. In this endeavor, we interview senior industry business leaders across functions such as commercial leadership, marketing, sales, strategy, and even CEOs, managing directors, and chief marketing officers, so as to get a deep insights and perspectives from them on what it takes to constitute the highest levels of excellence. And when I say excellence, it is across certain key functional domains, which include strategy excellence, leadership excellence, marketing excellence, brand building excellence, and commercial excellence. In all the featured interactions so far, our industry leaders have been very forthcoming and willing to share their deep understanding and knowledge for our audience and their perspectives on how their journey has been through these important functional domains. I'm sure you would have had a lot of learnings and insights from these interactions that have been taking place so far. Today, I present to you one such interesting interaction with an industry colleague who has committed himself to furthering the cause of commercial excellence in our industry. Our guest for today is Mr. Abhishek Mazumdar, who works as the head for commercial and sales excellence for Viatris, which was formerly known as Mylan, based out of Bangalore. Abhishek has a rich pharmaceutical industry experience spanning roles of sales, market research, product management, and commercial excellence functions. He started off his career with Ranbaxy in the sales function and also with Sanofi Aventis, promoting the chronic care brands such as Lantus. The 4 years stint of sales experience gave deep understanding of how it is to create customers and manage business in the sales function. Subsequently, Abhishek moved into a market research function, working with top tier market research firms such as Smart Analyst and Rocksearch India for about a couple of years. After his stint in market research as a chosen specialization, he came back into the industry and joined AstraZeneca as a market research manager in the brand marketing team based out of Bangalore. He dedicated himself for 4 years providing market research insights and inputs to brand marketing teams so as to come up with better marketing plans and strategies. After a 4 year stint in market research function, he was then put into the brand management function for AZ India, handling cardiovascular portfolio brands such as Betaloc and Imdur, which are, as you all are aware, industry leaders in their chosen segments. After a very successful 6.5 years plus stint with AZ, Abhishek joined Mylan, which is today known as Viatris, in the commercial excellence function. Abhishek heads not only the marketing excellence, but also the Salesforce excellence and digital marketing excellence functions of Viatris India. It would be very interesting to learn from Abhishek today as to how his journey has traversed the different functions of sales, market research, product management, and now commercial excellence, adding significant value, understanding, and deep insights to the brands and businesses that he has been associated with in his reasonably distinguished career. So it's great to have Abhishek on our series today and look forward to a very enriching interaction with Abhishek. Hi, Abhishek. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very fine. Good to see you and good to connect with you after a long while.
Same here, same here. I share the same feeling.
I just would like to straight away dive into our conversation today, Abhishek. And, I turn the clock back to your initial years when you were a medical rep, first with Ranbaxy, and then very fortunate to have you on our team of Lantus when in those growth phase, high growth, turbocharged phase of Lantus. And you spent almost about, I think, 4 years, a little over 4 years in sales functions. So when you look back today, and you see those 4 years, how do you think those helped shape, your core areas of understanding the business? And were there any key learnings that you would like to share for the benefit of our audience? Because many brand managers would love to know how a sales stint really helps in the later on phases of your career. So if you could please share with us just to start.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much, Sailesh, for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure to interact anytime. And thank you so much for taking back to asking me to travel time. You know, so when I saw your questions, I was feeling a bit nostalgic because if you ask me, those 4 years were the best 4 years of my life. Because I personally believe that if you have to make your hands dirty until unless you know that it's you may become a good leader or a leader but may not be a good leader because if you didn't fire the bullets you don't know how the battlefield is. It's complete chaos, and whatever happened in the HO, few of the things would remain in the HO, but at the market, at the ground, the things are totally different. When you're inside the doctor chambers, you don't know which bullet is going to come from where and how to react to it. So those 4 years actually made me understand the importance of execution. That made me understand the importance of building the relationship. That made me understand the importance of CRM, and made me understand the importance of branding and differentiated branding. So these are the learnings which I got, and there were two spectrums of learning because in Ranbaxy, it's totally different way of working. And when I joined your team, I was fortunate enough to join your team. Uh, the best, I would say, I'm Sanofi Aventis. That stint of launching Atlantis remains very close to my heart because the kind of learnings I had, the kind of training, the kind of marketing initiatives we were exposed to were very new. I mean, new in the industry. I didn't see any company going and challenging the doctor and saying that the way you manage diabetes is wrong. Yeah, that's what the motto, and that's the way we were trained. I mean, I still remember. Uh, I think I forgot the name of the resort in Mumbai. It
Retreat,
starts with M. It starts
retreat,
with M.
a
Yeah, yeah,
retreat resort, yeah. The launch.
correct, exactly. And Devdutt Patnaik and Sailesh Rao and Anjan. That one product 7 days training was never ever seen in the industry. So those were the 4 years where make you understand how to drive sales in the pharma industry, how to bring the execution excellence in the pharma industry. And these are the learnings which I took, which helped me from the stint with AstraZeneca.
Right.
So if you look at the marketing value chain, so a market research plays a very important role, whether it is making the understanding of the market, whether it is giving the insights from the market about the trends, what's happening new, and of course the brand equity, how your brand is perceived against the competition. It also helps to understand when you go back to your marketing manager and say, hey, these strategies look very good, they are fantastic, but with the experience in the sales, I'm saying that there could be an execution challenge. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I could bring the value addition when I took over the responsibility of market research in AstraZeneca.
Right. So I think you have hit a couple of very important points. And just to summarize for the benefit of our viewers is sales stints significantly helped you understand the core requirements of how do you build brands at the marketplace, right? One, as you rightly said, in terms of the execution excellence, because getting your hands dirty, this is such a nice word. Because if you don't get your hands dirty, you really don't understand the dynamics of selling process, demand generation. Second beautiful point is customer relationship management. Unpredictable customers, how do you manage them? How do you actually build relations with customers is very important, because a marketer needs to understand that relationships are built in the field, in the sales line, and not directly only from the head office. I think these 2 points are very well said. And I think the third point that you mentioned, Abhishek, is so beautiful, that you got an exposure of both the Indian organization selling piece of Ranbaxy and a concept selling multinational piece, where you were driving conceptual market development kind of strategies, challenging customers, so that they would relook at their own practices, even though it was an innovative brand, which again comes from deep knowledge of selling. I think these three are very important learning. So, Abhishek, I think, will you agree if I said that however fancy marketing may become today, digital and all that stuff, brand managers need to have a sales stint, a good sales exposure at some point of life? Do you believe in that? What is your take?
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, if you take any good organization in the FMCG segment, when they hire from big marketing schools and all, the first, because FMCG is driven with distribution and sales, right?
Correct.
So if the brand manager doesn't understand the distribution, the sales, uh, he he or she might create marketing programs or marketing advertisements or marketing campaigns, but if the understanding is not there, at what will happen at the end, where the bullets are fired, how is going to work there? So until unless you know these nuances
Right.
of the sales process and the challenges in this sales era and the sales environment, your marketing strategies, I would say, would remain very good on paper,
Right.
but practicality won't be there. It is extremely important to not only create, test, and then release those marketing programs at the sales level.
Right, right. Very beautifully said. And so I think you are a firm endorser of the belief that a sales stint in either form, as a full time or even as a part time, is an absolute must to get your experiences right around this marketing process. I tend to agree with you on that, Abhishek. Thanks so much. Now let's come to a second part of our question is, uh, after a good stint in sales, you then decide to move into market research as a, and you joined Smart Analyst, and you also worked with Rock Search for almost about 2.5 years. And the hardcore inciting market research firms, right? And Smart Analyst is a very, very reputed New York-based firm, and so also Rockset. So my question to you is, did you then, after sales for a stint, decide by choice that you will get into market research? And because many people want to get into product management as the first way of entry, but was this a conscious choice, Abhishek? Nahi, main market research karunga, and devote 4 years, which was quite a reasonable time for you. So just want to hear your thoughts around it.
Yes. So once again, the end product or the end process or the end responsibility is a part of your value chain. You take anything, it's a part of a value chain. There. So for example, the marketing. If you look at marketing, in the marketing value chain, the research and understanding is majority of the piece which is the most important. If you don't get the understanding and then the insights right, you can't become a great marketer. That's what is my belief. If you understand the process, how the data flows, what the meaning of the data, and how to cull out the insights, you can't become a good marketer. A marketer need to spend a lot of time with data and data understanding, find out the crux of it, because at the end of the day you have to differentiate your product. Yeah. And it becomes even more important in a me too market, because your elements of differentiation in the market is very less. So you need to be very smart enough, very tactical and very strategic to bring that inside out and then get it into your marketing plan. So it was a conscious choice to get into a market research, understand, build your understanding, gain your confidence, and then move to your marketing. Now, Smart Analyst and Rock Search got me the exposure to the global marketing because these companies majorly do they interact more with the global farm marketing. So your business models, your forecasting models, your attribute analysis, your category analysis, the kind of learnings I had there actually took my learning curve to a different level, and which has actually helped me when I took the PM role. So my sales experience, my market research experience made me a good, gave me good platform where I could use this experience and move forward.
No, I think it's brilliantly put by you, Abhishek, because and you've actually warmed my heart when you said twice very clearly that if you don't understand inciting, you can't be a good brand manager. And I think that's a very forceful point that you have put across to our viewers because that is the first step of understanding your brand. I mean, if you don't know why prescribers don't write your brand or how they view your brand, if you don't know what are patient insights, we keep telling our pharma marketeers that that's the first step. And it's so beautifully and very forcefully said by you. Completely agree with you that insights is very important. Also, what you have brought out very well is the ability to dovetail those insights into the marketing plan and bring out that differentiation in your product, right? Especially for Indian companies which struggle with the level of differentiation and positioning. That can only come from insights. I think that is very beautifully said, Abhishek, and that's something that people generally tend to gloss over and they miss the core there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my before I get into the AZ experience, at this point, I will want to ask you, and I'm very keen to ask you. You now obviously work at a level where you see brand managers in action, right, across different therapy areas. What is your take on this level of understanding of insights and the core processes of marketing? Do you think they are well developed, or they still need a lot of more hand holding? And are there challenges you see, in this?
Yeah, so I would say that it's very individualistic. I mean, I see few of the brand managers in the right above side of the curve, but
Okay.
there are a few brand leaders who still need hand holding and guidance
Okay.
and training and interventions from various functions to help them to get the right elements before they start working on
Okay,
marketing.
that's nice. Nice, very nicely put. Thank you so much. Now let's move to the AZ piece because that was a real good stint, and that was probably the stint that set you up for success in your later part of your career, which you're currently going through. Because you come in from Smart Analyst Rock Search into AZ, but again you choose that I will be an internal market research manager, providing insights and support on data to the brand management team, and you do that for 4 years. So again, a commitment from your side for 6 years into market research. So my question is, you have an outside in external smart analyst kind of a look into the business. Now you have an inside out. You merge this. How did you find this overall learning curve for you, and how did it help the brand marketing teams, to shape better?
Sure, sure. So if you look at the experience of Smart Analyst and Rock Search, it was more into global pharma. But the shift to AZ is for Indian pharma. So we never use the IQVIA data. We used to use IMS Knowledge Link because there you're working on more forward-looking projects on the new launches or various analyst reports and blah blah blah. But the IQVIA is pure data,
Right.
right? Pure data of Indian farm market, the categories, the molecules, the brand, and all. So it was a different kind of learning. Yeah. So that and it added value to my learning curve because I came from global to India, so I could use few of the elements of the global because when you work with a global pharma market, your report writing skills is at a different level, and when you come into Indian pharma marketing and supporting the brand leaders, you have a different twist to it. So this experience helped me to give something to the brand leaders which they liked. Yeah.
Very
Whether
nice.
it is insights, whether giving them models, where giving them concepts, all those things, I could do a lot of value add to the internal core team. We launch various global brands like Brillianta, Crestor, Celocan, And so all these elements helped me, and also it also helped me because I didn't do the brand equity research till then, because when you work for global research, they don't ask you to do the brand equity research, and it was more towards the secondary research, because this internal had an element of both secondary as well as primary market research elements. So you would work with vendors like Nielsen, like Kantar, like various companies to, so the learnings are totally different. So the value chain was like getting strengthened, new elements coming into, and which made me a better professional from a market research point of view.
Right. Um, I have a question in terms of the importance of market research in brand management function. And obviously, there is no denying the fact that, primary market research also plays a very important role in getting deep insights of your brands and customers as much as subscribing to secondary and tertiary reports. Well, research is something which is easily understood and done in most of the multinational organizations, but is still found an area of wanting when it comes to Indian organizations. We see that very often, and the reasons could be several. So I want to ask you is, the question is, how fundamentally important is primary market research? Because coming from an expert or a subject matter expert like you for brand managers in Indian organizations is very important. Because research is something that we need to do, but still doesn't get done. And I want to know if you think why you think it is not getting. One could be resources, or second, the lack of conviction itself could be one thing. So how do you have any thoughts around how do you build conviction around market research as a function, and need to integrate it into the brand planning process? That's my question to you. If you can help us give some thoughts.
See, is my perception, or
Absolutely.
my belief. Um, I feel that it's more of a mindset which plays over here, and mindset from the top management. I mean, when you look at marketing as a support function to the sales, you going to get it wrong. When you look at it, marketing as a business driver, then you see it differently. My understanding that most of the Indian companies, they see marketing as a support function. You give samples, you engage customers, you give this input, so they see it from a branding point of view to help the sales guy go and do branding. And the mindset is sales guy is going to execute and they are going to get the prescription. Of course they do, but the mindset is not on the brand building. Mindset is to hit the numbers. Mindset is not to change the behavior. Mindset is get the prescription. The moment you change your thought process, the marketing is a business driver. We need to build brands, we need to create assets for the company in the right ways. If you do it CRM based model, tomorrow b- today is, if there's a company, tomorrow there will be B company, right? And you don't have any right elements to defend your prescriptions because it's totally CRM driven. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the mindset changes, where they look at the marketing as a real business driver, then the discussion goes to a different level. What is your brand objective? How you're going to? What is your brand promise? What is your brand feature? I don't know. I've never seen an Indian companies talking like this, but a multinational company would, because it's a new innovative molecule. Focus is brand building. Focus is changing behavior. So these elements gets into the management discussion. If the management discussion is, it is totally top down driven thought process on the mindset. If the BU heads and the um, top management of the company is asking the right questions to the marketer, then they will also change the mindset. If they are asking how many inputs you have sent, right, that is not marketing. That is, you're looking at marketing in a totally different way. Market is beyond, is more powerful than that what
Right.
they're doing.
Right. No, I think again, a couple of very forceful points that you have put, and to summarize is, as you rightly said, very, very, true. Is one is it depends. All starts with the mindset of the top leadership, right? And if it is going to be seen as a sales support function, if marketing is seen as a sales support function, then you get your dynamics completely different. But if you see marketing as the core business driving function of the organization for which purpose the organization exists to create assets, then the discussion is at a very different level. I think this is very beautifully put by you. Second, I think it is a fundamental responsibility of the brand manager himself to understand that his job is not to just support the sales line, but to create meaningful differentiation, and brand planning and brand building is the core, not just supporting the selling efforts. So it's brand building mindset and not just brand selling mindset. I think that's the second message that you put it beautifully, Abhishek. And third, I think very important piece is that you need to understand what are the drivers of the business, where to invest, etc., which you've been talking about. And I think that is something which I really appreciate that you're putting forward. I also want to spend a couple of minutes on the fact that many of us believe that market research is expensive and it's long drawn, and whether it is worth it. And we have seen the power of quality research and quantity research, etc. And so companies try to substitute this with some kind of field surveys and doing this kind of stuff. So I believe surveys cannot substitute the power of a powerful market research driven discussion guide. Any thoughts around that, Abhishek? I mean, just to set context for our brand managers. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's for me, if a survey driven is just a tick mark exercise for me, it's not part of market research. It's more of validating few things, but it's not about insight mining. You
It's
can't
not
even.
inside mine. Yeah.
It's yeah. Because you see, at the end of the day, is the people and the human being who are involved there. You
Right.
can't get the biasness out of it, and you are not the expert to have a discussion guide and then do a very constructive discussion with the customers. When the customer sees you, they sees you as a pharma company.
Right.
So their responses could be different, and so I'm not in favor. Rather, I always discard, but it happens in the big companies. All multinational, it happens. I've seen happening here and there. So, but it is not market research for me.
You touched upon a point, and again, because you're giving me some really good leads, insight mining. Do you define that now as a core strategic marketing skill for a brand manager?
Absolutely, number one marketing skill. If I have to give weightage, I will give 60% weightage to it.
For insight mining skills.
Yeah.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
So
because otherwise you are creating your marketing plans on your gut feel, on your experiences, which may not be true right now, in a context where everything is changing in day basis. So how do you ensure that you are taking the right marketing strategy for your brand?
So you're absolutely sticking your neck out, Abhishek, and saying insight mining is the core marketing competency or strategic skill that marketers need to have, and you put a 60% weightage on that, which
Absolutely.
clear way forward. Great. Continuing our discussion, and thanks so much. This is really very interesting. Is when you moved into the brand management role of AZ handling Betalock, Imdur, etc., I'm sure you would have been at a far more leverageable position because you now have sales experience, you have global market experience, you have local market research experience within the organization for 4 years, and now get into the senior brand manager role or whatever, regardless of the designation, at a far greater level of leverage because you are able to bring in all those skill sets. Can you share your experience and how was it? Any learnings for the audience?
Yeah. So yes, of course. So the core learning is important in the function, but validating your past learning into your current profile is also important, right? So so I had a portfolio which, just excuse me, I'm just getting a call. So I had a portfolio which had a mature brands, a declined brands, and a new launch. So in AZ had a strategy, we called it Udan then, and it was about launching generic brands. I had a brand called Celomax, and for 100 crore portfolio, my budget was only 20 lakhs. Yeah, it was less because you have to agree that most of the multinational companies, the maximum focus and the resources goes into managing the global brands with, right, Crestor, Celocan Excel. And so most of the resources will go, all the emotions, all the sentiments would be behind those brands. So when I took this brand, I had two options: either to create inputs, because my marketing manager would say, uh, input क्या भेजें, and right, क्या क्या दिखाओ, क्या क्या जा रहा है, पूरा पूरा क्वार्टर का प्लान दो. Or I had to create a growth plan for my brand, right? So when I saw 20 lakhs, my market research would take around 8 to 10 lakhs, including my qualitative and quantitative. I'm a firm believer that a quantitative research should be followed by a qualitative research to understand whys. What you can understand, whys are very more important than what's. So I took a conscious call. Yeah, I did market research, spent 10 lakhs, 50% of my amount into the brand. Celoram, which was doing 20 lakhs when I took the brand, when I left it, it was doing 80 lakhs in 2 years' time. Because the insights what I got helped me to not only create a different positioning for my brand, and also creating those inputs, very small inputs, but very targeted inputs. Yeah. And it helped me to build the growth in for my brand. Yeah. So market research driven, insights driven strategy will always work. 80 to 90% of the time it will work. Second important thing, which I feel is very important for, mm, so as I said, uh, the since the focus of the companies would be towards the global brand, right? It is extremely difficult to get the focus of the sales guy towards these brand. Yeah. So I was watching a movie, Gladiator. Yeah. There is a famous scene where you say that if you have to earn your liberty, you have to win the heart of the people, right? The idea struck me. If I have to drive my brand, I have to win the heart of my sales guys.
Right.
You have to bring this brand in top of the mind of your RBMs, first line, second line managers, first line managers, and then reps. Because if that drive happens, the execution will happen. The focus will be there. So then I created internal campaigns, more emotional internal campaigns. So rational campaigns for the brand, emotional campaigns for the guys. And believe me, it worked. It worked. So these are my learnings, and the weightage of, that's what I'm saying. Inside mining weightage is 60%. If even in a Me Too brand, to if you get the right positioning followed by good campaigns, you're going to win the war.
Brilliantly put. I cannot say this so very well put by you. And what clearly is emerging from these points you mentioned for the benefit of our viewers is, first is that don't cry that we have less marketing resources. We actually have more than enough resources. It's not
No, no,
about
you should cry, because
okay,
when you cry, you should cry, but you should also smartly put your money
exactly.
where it makes
Where
a
it
difference.
matters the most. Yes. I mean, you have money. You know, you need to know where to put that money, as you rightly
Yeah.
said. You had the courage to put 50% of an already so-called less budget into market research because you wanted those insights. And once you
And
got
I went against everyone, my marketing
exactly,
manager, my BU head.
yeah,
But since I had a strong market research background, they had to give in because they saw the value in it.
exactly. And you put your money on the research piece, you got those insights, and you drove the entire brand on those small stuff, which gave you the results, which increased your sales by 4x times, right? Within just
Exactly.
that is
Exactly.
something. Otherwise, if you had done the incremental stuff without knowing those insights, you would not have probably got such kind of traction on the sales than doing the insight research work, driven strategy work.
And we became number one in the indication, the
There you go.
prescription wise.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
become number one.
There you go. So your message is clear. Without insights, you can't even hope to start building brands. Because if you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that level of insights, then you're able to really build out brands. And second important point is escalating the brand in the minds of the salespeople for better execution outcomes. I think this is beautifully said by you. You drove the rational driven stuff with the brand at a customer level, but with your sales, you drove the emotion or the heart driven level, which is so very important. Because if you capture the mind and hearts of your salespeople, we all know the results can be quite phenomenal, right? Excellent, Abhishek. This is wonderful discussion I've enjoyed so far with you. So from Now, with this kind of a great experience across functions, building brands, getting the power of insights, you get into a new function of your career defining span, which is commercial excellence. So you come into Mylan, join the commercial excellence team, and you start working around setting up the function, providing the entire strategic support. And you have been doing that now for a considerable time now in Mylan, which is now called Viatris. So I believe that you not only do Salesforce excellence, you build out marketing excellence for your brands, etc. So I would like to know, for the benefit of our viewers, Abhishek, couple of things. One, how has it been, again, setting up the COMEX function in Mylan for you, or at least strengthening it? What is the stuff that you do? What's your mandate? Second, important, I would like to know is, how are you getting the alignments, not only from your brand management colleagues, but business heads, because they are also large custodians. How are you able to drive this? Because you're a support function. Obviously, the dollar P&L function comes in from the how are you managing these alliances, etc.? We would like to hear from you. Yeah.
Sure. As you rightly said, that it's a support function. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to stand behind my leaders and support them most of the time. But I also need to challenge them when I'm convinced that this is not right for the business.
Okay.
So do that. You need to win the trust of your leaders. So your intent and your support functions, your interventions should be like this, where it is going to help the business leaders, whether it is a marketing leader or is a business leader. When you go with that intent, it is easier to build the relationship with your business leaders. They see the value when you knock the door and go inside. They see the value that Abhishek has come with something which is going to drive my business, because they are into extremely challenging job. They are driving the numbers, which is not easy. Yeah. So if you go and help them to identify the opportunities or identify the key intervention points from them and help them a life easier, it is going to help them. So that is being a commercial excellence. That's very important to create that kind of environment where they see you as a support function. They see you as a value addition function. They see you as a business driver function. So my mandate to my team that though we may be a support function, but change the mindset, become a driver of the business, and you can become the driver of the business being in support function. So it has got various elements. So I say SFEE. Yeah. So what is double E? SFE is execution, which is your efficiency. You need to ensure that the efficiency happens, the execution happens. For that, you need to build the systems in place, and you need to improve the talent uh, and the and the quality of people through training interventions, which is very focused on your efficiency. The effectiveness is a very, it has a very broad horizon, no, from a selection of a portfolio, from a deployment, from SNT, and driving marketing excellence. All these elements to come in one place and join hands. If that doesn't happen, then effectiveness won't be there. For example, if you give a molecule which is already at the declining stage, what kind of effectiveness you can expect from the sales guys? They're fighting a lost battle. Again, another example, you give a good molecule to them, but you don't give a good marketing campaign to them, and you don't train them well to execute it. Again, they are going to lose the war. So these are the elements which are very important, should work as a team hand in hand to ensure that effectiveness happens at the field.
Right. Um, you have been in this function, and I think one of the hot discussion points in our industry for the last 5 to 10 years has been the COMEX function, which has been set up by many companies in our industry as a dedicated function to drive excellence, either in sales, marketing, strategy, etc. So I want to ask you, how have you seen this evolve? Because you have been a part of it, you're also driving it, and so you would have a chance to look at it, from a position where you can see the evolution. And so, what has been your experience? Secondly, Abhishek, the narrative earlier years used to be efficiency-driven model. Kitna call average, coverage, frequency, reach, how many customers. And now the narrative is building into an effectiveness model, or probably a hybrid model of efficiency versus effectiveness. So is there a mantra for this, or is it customized to meet that individual organization needs, what it thinks is best? What do you have to say to this?
Yeah. So mantra is definitely, I said, the mantra is you need to have a solid environment around it, solid processes, platforms available to it, driving both efficiencies as well as effectiveness. It has got element of both strategic as well as tactical, and both strategic and tactical need to marry in such a way that effectiveness happens, because your efficiency may not drive your effectiveness, and similarly your effective. So it's very important that you understand the elements of effectiveness. So mantra is to understand that how I'm going to become effective. So from your from a very strategic point of view, you have a portfolio to have. From a very tactical point of view, you have a good marketing campaigns based on insight mining, and then uh, differentiated marketing, and then you have a very good training model. And training model I will differentiate into two aspects. One is very functional, which is more focusing on the execution of excellence. Second is changing the mindsets, because it's a very dynamic world. Yeah. So for example, the SFE KPIs what you're talking now in the current context are not relevant to me, right? Coverage is not relevant. Doctor call average is not relevant. So how do I make it relevant? So now a new concept call, which is come as a digital thing, right? So now digital thing is not going to have a different SFE KPIs. For example, training which used to treat how to open the call, you are not able to meet your customer. How relevant is that training now,
Right.
right? So you are not coverage. You're not able to meet your customer. How relevant is it business planning now? Yeah. So now the context has changed. Now, now context has become more powerful than the content and the customer. Right. I will put it in that way. So once you have got a digital, now your system and platforms which you are there but not efficiently used. Yeah. Now is the opportunity or the potential to use them efficiently. Your CRM model, your Viva model, your marketing promotional mix, your marketing mix, your training thing, everything you need to see from a different lens now, because it is things are evolving,
Right.
and the companies which have understood that and already started working towards it is going to create a ripple in the market in the future.
Beautifully put. I mean, the three C's of what you said, digital engagement with customers, is content, context, and customer. But the context has now taken complete precedence because you are living in an era where you're not able to meet customers themselves, but
Yeah.
digital enhances that. I want to come to a emerging area which is now taken hold and in commercial excellence, driving decision-based outcomes. And when I talk of driving decision-based outcomes through the power of data analytics. Now, it's a great thing to talk in our industry about big data, data analytics, driving decision outcomes. But we see that the maturity in terms of this understanding, maturity is the data analytics maturity, building the backend infrastructure, churning the data sets, going and showing this to brand marketeers, and then taking effective action is a long way to go. And there are gaps in many organizations, and some are already evolving there. My question to you, Abhishek, what's your message in terms of data analytics being a very important function or part of commercial excellence going forward now? Because you need to optimize resources, you need to plan your marketing mix more efficiently and effectively. And second question is, brand managers, do you believe that this again becomes a very critical skill for the future in terms of data analytics driven decisions, and not just gut feel or any other kind of, not just for managers, even for business heads, everybody? What's your take on this entire piece?
Yeah. I feel you, as you rightly said, that I also believe that pharma industry being a core industry is still very naive when we talk about the data analytics approach. Uh, the challenge is the availability of the data first. I mean, most other companies didn't have the right platforms or system which can capture the data. Now with evolving technologies and other things, the companies have reached to a level where they have gained at least the capability of capturing those data. Now, once you gain the capability of capturing the data, now the capability of the analytics need to come. It need to evolve completely. Uh, for example, I feel that earlier days, most of the marketing campaigns were like one single campaign across India. But now I feel that the requirement is to become more micro marketing. Yeah, it it should be geographies focus. It should be customer focus, because few of the geographies, for example, North Delhi, North Delhi, you have find maximum early adopters. Right? In East, you will see laggards over there. That's the way you see most of you see analogs. Any analog, any new launch, you'll find success in North first, and then slowly, gradually, the success will move to East. So with this data, so for a market, it becomes very important. The way you treat your North market should be totally different, because you've got early adopters, and East differently because you have laggards there. What you talk to this customer should be different. What you talk to this customer should be different. How do you engage this customer should be different. How do you engage this customer should be different. That's one cut of the data points, yeah, which is very, very important. Second data points, the now digital coming into it. The consumption of data is very important, because the platforms or the channel could be different. Dr. Salesh Rao may respond to email, Dr. Abhishek may not be. So a marketer need to understand that which content and which channel should go to which customer. Otherwise, it is like paint and spray is not going to work. You have limited resources. You'll waste your resources. I feel that this is still lacking. I would love to see that marketeers getting into more dynamic world of marketing, rather a very
Static.
uh, yeah, passive style of marketing is not going to work anymore. It's not. It has to evolve.
Right, right. No, again, very beautifully said, Abhishek. Thank you so much. It is the, as you rightly said, the channel, the content, and push content and the customer is very different, because N is equal to one. Or the personalization of the communication is the era that we live in, right? I may respond to an email, you may respond to a WhatsApp. So you need to
Yeah.
know first what is working and what will not go. Very beautifully said. We're coming to the last part of our interaction. I want to respect your time. We have got under 10 minutes to go, but I thought it is a great interaction so far, Abhishek. You are now at a vantage point where you merge your sales experience, your rich market research experience, and driving commercial effectiveness in an organization. And so your ability to spot patterns, spot gaps in brand planning, execution becomes that much more effective, because you've been in these functions. My question is, you're in a leadership role. And so my question is more from that impact making leadership position. How do you get the alignment of not just brand managers who consider themselves to be the custodians of the brand, but the sales heads who drive execution, and the P&L heads, the business heads, plus your overall commercial leadership, who heads the. How do you drive this, Abhishek? Because you have to be, driving this as a single uniform thing. So how do you do that, Abhishek? Just a
Answer is very answer is very simple. Build the capabilities of your team.
right,
If you're building the capabilities, keeping these thought processes in the mind, preparing for the future, preparing, understanding the challenges, understanding the evolving pattern of marketing in the future, understanding the customer behavior or the consumer behavior in the future. You need to build the capabilities right now.
right.
Expose them with this mindset, expose them with new learning opportunities for them, keep them excited. These are the things which are important to drive the.
Fantastic. Abhishek, it's been brilliant interacting with you and getting to know so many pieces of your rich experience and how you have put those learnings into your roles. And what's important is what you have mentioned so far in this 45 odd minutes is those nuggets which would be very useful for our viewers. My last part of the conversation with you is, what do you think are some of the areas or messages that you would like to give to our brand marketing community, both not brand managers, but marketing heads in terms of brand planning, brand building? What's your message? Because you have been there as a sales guy, as a marketer guy, as a market research guy. So I think coming from you will make it. So what is your message for marketers, whether he's a PM, MM, it doesn't matter, in terms of brand building and brand planning processes, keeping all context together? It would be very nice.
So I think you need to start loving data. First thing, you need to start building stories out of data. If you are able to get the stories out of data, you would be more sharper and clearer with your marketing plans. Because as a marketer, you will always have a challenge of resource, whether it's time or any other resource. So till you get sharp, till you get very focused, you won't be hitting the right nail. So, and this is going to come from your inside mining. Start loving data, start building stories from data, improve your capability over there. Rest is easy, because the moment you understand the market and customer, you know how to play and when to play and how to win, which is also very important. Once you know how to win, where to play is the most important for a marketer.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Yeah, so give more weightage to market research. Keep a budget for your market research. Don't go with your gut feeling. Don't go with your understanding.
Right.
Yeah, understand the whys. Very important. Don't go by just data. Understand the whys, which is going to come from your market research, not your interaction with your customer, not your field interaction with the customer. Give due weightage to market research. It's a very important element of a marketing plan.
Excellent. Abhishek, thank you so much. Before I sign off, one question. You spoke about build a great story around the data. You said that almost 3 to 5 times, which is giving me a message that, do you think storytelling, which is such a new skill today, is also important for marketers? They need to tell a story to their management, to the sales function about their brands. It's very important, right?
Absolutely. If you don't, you just quote data, you will not get anywhere.
Right.
You need to give the story.
Great is the story, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, Abhishek. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to interact with you. Honestly, I mean, I could sense so many good nuggets of experience and wisdom. That's most important. The experience drives wisdom, and you were very open. And thank you so much for candidly sharing your learnings with us, and for the benefit of the marketing community. Sincerely appreciate you giving us the time, Abhishek.
So the pleasure is mine. Always, as I said it at the beginning, there is always pleasure to have an interaction with you, and look forward for a similar interaction in the future also.
Thanks a lot, Abhishek, for being on our platform, and it's great to have you. And stay safe. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.